Hello, Itang. Good evening to you, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching from. So, with me today is Abayomi Oyelami. So, Yomi, good evening. You don't wear sweat. Hi, Yomi, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, welcome to today's show, everyone. Okay.
Listen to you.
Oh, okay. So while you're doing that, without further ado, I think we'll just head on right to
Yes.
it. And so today we will be celebrating the fathers. As we all know, last Sunday was Father's Day. And
Yes, so yes, so
because,
yes, so
yeah, due to
this
the
one,
buzz
this
that
one, they
last.
let us celebrate it.
Very funny. Very funny. So over the weekend or last weekend, the buzz about World Sickle Cell Day. So we're still basking in that euphoria. So we didn't have chance to celebrate warrior fathers or fathers of warriors themselves. So today we are going to be celebrating them with what we have tagged a father's love. So with us are two fantastic fathers. One is a warrior, one is father to a warrior. So I'll be introducing them right away. So the first person is Tunde Odunton. How they take pronounce that name? Odunton Akintunde. He's a Lagos State civil servant. He's married with two kids. Make I follow add that one. He's a Christian and he's a super warrior. So Tunde, welcome.
Yeah.
Good evening, Maureen, Uwachi, and good evening, Abayomi Oyelami.
Good
I'm happy to be
evening.
here. It's a big privilege for
Yeah.
me to be on the studio with you guys. Thank you very much. Then the name is Odunton. Odunton Akintunde.
Odunton. Odunton.
Odunton. Yeah,
Don't worry, I'll come
But
for practice. I'll come for more practice.
no problem.
Okay, so Yomi, maybe you introduce the next person.
all right. All right, Kelvin. Good evening, Kelvin. Yeah, so
Hello, guys. I don't know if you can hear me.
yeah, we
We
can hear
can
you. We
hear
can hear
you.
Hello,
you.
I don't know if you can.
We can
Okay,
hear
there,
you.
there seems to be feedback I'm getting from my end. I don't know from my end or that side. Good evening, guys. It's a pleasure being here again. It's a pleasure seeing your beautiful faces, your handsome faces.
Uh, all right. So Calvin Ada is a massage therapist. He is an educationist and a private home tutor. He is a single father of a boy who lives with sickle cell. He is a sickle cell advocate and he volunteers with us at SAMI. So good evening, Kelvin. It's great to have you again.
Yeah, I think Kelvin will be back.
Yeah.
So Yomi, I'll just let you start with our first guest.
All right. All right. So Akitunde. So I hope you can hear me. All right. So Akitunde, I hope you can hear me. So my first question will be
Hello,
the day
I can't hear you well.
you can't hear me well. How is it now?
I can't hear you at all.
At all. I'm speaking as loud as I can.
Okay, how about me, Tunde? Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear Maureen. I can hear your Miss voice.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, wow.
Can you hear me? Wow.
Okay, so I think I'll just take it
Okay.
from there. Yomi, maybe you just I don't know, maybe log out and come back right in and see if it will work better that way.
Oh,
Okay, so
all
today
right. Let's.
we are commemorating Father's Day. Um,
Okay.
and being a warrior and a father, we should I say it's good to have you on the show so that people can learn the two sides this time around. It's not just about you being a father, it's about or you also living with sickle cell. And in this time of the month where we just celebrated World Sickle Cell Day, so how has the journey been for you, if I may ask that, living with sickle
Okay.
cell and being a father too? How has it been? Is it an
Um.
interesting journey?
well, all to the glory of God. I think at this point in time, I can only say it has been God's grace, and I can't say it hasn't been easy like that, but I want to give God the glory for the family I have, like my parents, my sisters, and my brother. They tried as much as possible to take very good care of me. They never in any way talk me down or probably just look at me like you are a useless boy, you don't have anything to offer. Um, Growing up with crisis, it wasn't easy, but I will say with the family system that I had, they made it easier for me and they actually exposed me into knowing the kind of life I need to live as a warrior. And with the little knowledge I had in the hospital, like clinics that I actually usually go back then, I got so many informations about sickle cell. And later on in life, growing up, I got to know about the pros and cons of being a warrior. Well, it's not that rosy. Like you being a warrior, you want to like do things out of the ordinary, just like you following the able-bodied guys like AA, AS. You see them running, playing football, doing whole strenuous things, and you want to like be part of them, just for you not to look like one child that is just not meant to be part of their own circle. So doing all that, because I could remember vividly many times that I'll be warned, don't do this, don't do that. At the end, I follow them, I do all those strenuous things, and I end up with crisis. My mom will talk, my brother will talk, my sister will talk, but with all that, they still supported me. They took me to the hospital when needed. Like I could say a whole lot of things about my elder brother when I had crisis in Unilag days back then. He would come all the way from wherever he is, take me home, take good care of me until I'm okay. Then they take me back to school. It's not been easy like that, but with the help of my family, they made it easier. Then transitioning into fatherhood, hmm, I'll give kudos to my wife because she is and still my backbone when it comes to me coming down with crisis. Like on maybe two or three occasions when I joined Lagos State Civil Service working at Lasut, I came down with crisis. She stood by me. I think that would be my first time in many years that I will be admitted in the hospital. But when my wife knew about that, she stayed with me all through thick and thin when I was admitted in the hospital. Even till now, she's my prayer warrior. She keeps praying for me and she keeps supporting me. She tries she when it comes to my routine drugs, because being an adult, you want to like, I don't want to use these drugs, but she always rings them in my ear. She'll be the one to ask me, Tunde,
Great.
have you used your medicine? So she'll bring it down to me and make sure that I use them. So it's been good. Then taking care of my kids as well. It's all been God and a support as well. And I try the little I can to also to be supportive and not just be a lazy man at home. So that has been the journey of a warrior and a father as well.
Fantastic. Can you hear me now, Tune? Tune, can you hear me now? Tune, can you hear me now?
I can't hear you, your
Tune,
meal.
can you hear me now? At
I can
all?
hear your me loud
Wow.
and clear. I can hear your me
Wow,
loud and clear. So I don't know why you can't hear him. Okay,
it's
so
quite unfortunate.
yeah. Okay, so that's quite an interesting story. It's been an interesting story so far. I don't know. I'm curious to know. Um, children can be very curious and all that. I've met your daughter. I'm sure she's very curious type too. Um, have there been times when she needed to understand what's going on, when you needed to explain yourself to her or something like that? Does it happen?
Well, I can't actually say for now because she's still a toddler. So probably she doesn't really know much about me falling down ill. But
Hmm.
anytime I have crisis and she's around, she just come around and cuddle me, to play with me. But she still doesn't have the knowledge of what is actually happening to this man at this point in time. But I can talk about my niece, and yeah, my niece. While growing up, when before I got married, they used to be like, "What is wrong with Shopo?" Because then they call me Shopo. That's my nickname. So it's well
Oh, okay.
known. So they are always like, "What's wrong with Shopo? Is he okay?" Because when I come down with crisis, depending on the area that I'm having the pain, because sometimes I get to use bandage, like if it's my knee, if it's my arm. So depending on how severe the pain is, then when I'm down with crisis, you can't really explain how the pains are. Then for like days, I might not be able to eat because that's my nature. That's my nature. No matter how you force me to eat, once I take food, I will definitely commit them. So the best bet is
Hmm.
for you to just leave it alone. If it's 2 days that will be on fluid, let me be on fluid. If it's 3 days that will be on fluid, let me be on fluid. But once it comes to food, it doesn't go down well with me. So you just have to leave me. Let me be the one to act, to tell you that I am hungry. So when I tell you I'm hungry, to understand that Sunday is already getting. So during those periods when I'm in pain, she's always like, what exactly is wrong with this guy? Is it okay? She tries to come closer to me. Then I explain things to her. Then she also helps in the area of me calling her to help me understand. She's very, very helpful. Even people, they are always like, this is not, like they call her
Hmm.
not, because she's always, she's always there beside me. She hardly leaves me when I'm down with crisis. So that's that about my niece. But my daughter, she doesn't know yet. She's still growing up, and I believe with time, when she has, when she's more aware, she will understand everything that is happening with her.
Yeah, I asked that question because I remember when my niece, before my elder brother passed, you know how kids can be. They always want to, maybe before, just before school, she wants to have her breakfast while sitting on daddy's lap or something like that, or come back and she wants to just play a bit. But she cannot understand that sometimes his body is just at that point in time, just before he, some months before he passed. So I remember I was just thinking about that. I think that was why I asked you. That was why I asked you that question. And yes, they
Mostly
will
at that
never understand, no matter.
they
Yes,
don't, they
they
don't,
will
they
never.
don't.
Yeah. So I
We
don't
keep
know.
them
Yeah. So
look
Yomi, I don't know if you have
down.
any questions for him, or if you have anything to say, I can just.
Yeah, let me just my first question will be to Kelvin.
Okay.
So Kelvin, I hope you can hear me now. Yeah, so Kelvin, my first question will be to you that how what are so my first question will be to you, Kelvin, that what was your experience? Um what has been your experience so far for being a father of someone living with sickle cell? We've heard the perspective of how Tunde has been able to transit from being someone who lives with sickle cell and then becoming a father of a child, of children now, not even a child now. So, but for you, you don't live with sickle cell. So, when you had your child, when you had Michael, what was what was it like for you that first day? What was the euphoria about? And then when you now got to know he lives with sickle cell, how what was the feeling, general feeling for you?
Uh, guys, you're going to bear with me. I don't know if it's my network or it's from the app. I don't understand. It's just I'm getting feedback. But if I heard what my brother Yomi asked me, um, he's asking me how I've been coping with Michael, or how the journey has been so far when I found out he has sickle cell and all
Yeah,
that. Please, okay, that's what you asked. Okay.
yeah.
Um, for Michael, the thing there is that we didn't know that we had a child that was living with sickle cell. We didn't know it was SS. Because like I always tell you, I mean, like I said last time, there was a lab error in the mother's genotype result. I knew I was AS, but the lab gave her AA. It was when Michael was 8 months. That was when the sickle gene kicked in. He started getting sick,
Mm.
and at that point, my head was already telling me what it could be, but I didn't understand. I was like, how is it possible? She's AA, I'm AA, so how come? You know? One day he fell sick. I just took him to the hospital, and while they were treating him, I asked the lab person if they ran a genotype test. He said yes. I said, okay, please, can you help me run a genotype test on the child? And they did, and while they were doing it, I asked the lab person if they ran a genotype test. He said yes. I said, okay, please, can you help me run a genotype test on the child? And they did, and the result came back as it was a. I didn't believe it at that point. In fact, I almost slapped the lab guy. I almost slapped him. I was like, what are you telling me? No. What are you telling me? The mother is AA. If you guys don't know your job, why are you here and all that? But the guy was calm. He was calm. He was just telling me to calm down. Like, is the mother around? I said no. He said I should call the mother to come. So I called her. She came. Then I took me aside separately and pleaded with me that I should please give him a few minutes to rerun my tests and the mother's tests. And I said, fine. He did mine first. He came back AS. I was all I say, I told you. You see, I told you, I'm AS and all that. He ran the mother's own. Lo and behold, he came back as AS. He did it the second time. He came back as AS. That was how we knew that Michael was HPSS. At that point, from that point to when we got back home, I didn't know how I got home. I just knew that I was home. Within me already, I was just thinking, only one thought was coming to my head. SS. Does that mean this boy is going to die? This boy is going to die. Of course, I didn't know anything about sickle cell, and I only knew genotype compatibility. So within me, I already passed a death sentence on the boy. He's going to die. He's going to die. For like a month, I was emotionally gone. At night, I will sleep, I'll be crying. If you see me that I'm already slim, I became slimmer. I was just thinking about the future, not even the present. So I went to see, there's this matron that works at Lutz. So I went to see her and I explained to her and said, see. She calmed me down first. I wanted to talk about the issue. I shouldn't talk about it. I should talk about something else. She was asking me how far with work. How far. She didn't want me to talk about it at all. So eventually I got to know that she took my mind off it so that I could relax, I could process. Then I think 2 days later, that's when she called me and I came. That was when she now talked about it. She just told me, see, this is what it is. She had already gone and printed up a chart about sickle cell and everything. She brought it to me. And she gave me my first lesson on sickle cell and everything. That was just how the journey started. Eventually, it didn't work out between his mother and myself. That's how I became a single father to the boy when it was just a year and 8 months. I started taking care of Michael when it was a year and 8 months. So it's been me and him since then. It's not been easy. There was this I was just in Maureen that we went out, we were coming, he was on my laps, he was asleep, he now weed on me. In the bus, I was like, what the heck is this? What will I start walking on the road with weed on my body? I was just crying and blaming the boy. He was just looking at me. He was looking at me, he was confused. I said, don't worry, I won't carry you. You will walk. Look at my body. Look at. He didn't say anything, no. He started walking. So after like 2 minutes, I was like, what am I doing? And I picked him up and, I picked him up and we climbed the bridge and we go home. So many instances like that where, is it when he's sleeping, when he wants to wee, I started learning not to sleep too deep, because he's by my side. I have to wake up, I will touch him. Is he still breathing? Is he having temperature? Is he? Even till now, I do it. I'll just get up when I hear him breathe. I just touch him. Is he still breathing? Is he breathing fine? Is there temperature? I know that. I touch him all around. So it's not been easy, especially. Okay, let me go to when it's about work now. In fact, when Michael came, it literally put my life on hold for him. I just told myself, nobody's going to do it. Everything that this boy has, I put my life on hold. I received queries from work because when he fell sick, I have to be out of work for like 2 weeks with him in the hospital. Eventually, employers will get tired. The good ones will call me and tell me, I'm not get a maid, and say he's too young for a maid. We all know how maids are. And besides, getting a maid is very expensive. It's not something I can afford now. So two employers had to let me go because of Michael. There are other opportunities, work, I had to turn down because of him. There was a job I got in Warri, Delta State, to be head of operations HR. I was happy and all that until they told me there was official quarters, but I can't take anybody, just me. I was like, I'm a single father to a boy. Who will I leave him with? They said, no, I have to leave him. Maybe weekends I'll be coming. I said, no. That's how I let the opportunity go. So work-wise, there was no job. I could not hold on a 9 to 5 because he needed that attention. I had to look other places, businesses, any business that comes. They say go and supply here. I quickly go. I beg, give me this business, make I do now. I get picking for house and all that. And when it comes to social life, zero. Because in fact, where is the time? What time will you have when you are out there? Your mind is at home. Ah, is he running the temperature? Will they call me that something's happening? Will they understand? So I virtually put my life on hold for him, and it's been good. It's not been easy. I wouldn't lie. There are some days I wish that I could just sleep. Sincerely, some days I wish I could just sleep and don't wake up again. When I think about it, I say, please just take this burden away from me because it's too much for one person. Understand? But then the boy, I look at him some days. He's coming to peep. He's coming to peep. And then some
Uh,
days, because he will look at me. Now he understands. Sometimes stop that. Some days, some days he will look at me and he will tell me, "Daddy, I'm sorry." I'll say sorry for what? That, that I get sick every time. He doesn't really understand, but he just knows that when he's sick, everything is on standstill. So he's apologizing for being sick and all that. At that point, what do I do? I might cry and all that. This most recent experience that we had, stop now, you're making noise. This most recent experience that we had, that we spent a month plus in the hospital. In fact, it has been the worst ever. I went to heaven and I came back. Like seriously. It started normally with bone and tissue, just like that from there. Nosebleeds, of course. I've spoken with Maureen about it severally. She told me it's normal. But when it started bleeding for up to 5 hours from the nose, it wasn't stopping. I said, this is not normal anymore. I said, this is abnormal. Doctors, please, what is happening? They said, okay, let them give him blood. His PCB was low. He was receiving blood. Within 10 minutes of transfusion, he started vomiting blood. They could not tell me what was wrong. Nobody, the doctors were nobody could say what was wrong. They said, okay, let's refer you. There's one hematology. I said, no, please just write Lasut for me. Just refer me to Lasut. He has a card at Lasut already. Let me take him there. That was how we landed at Lasut. We spent another 3 weeks there. One test after the other. Just me. All women in the ward. They took us to the children pediatric ward first, emergency pediatric ward. Everybody was there was a woman, a mother. I was only father there. You can imagine. I was like, God, I've come back to this place again. What is this? How will I cope? They brought bucket. They say your drugs, you have to put it in a bucket. I said, will that be kind of bucket about like a woman? How will that be kind of bucket? I said, please let me put it in nylon. They said, no, it has to be a bucket. I bought the bucket, put the drugs, they put it on his bed. They change bed sheets. In the morning, when they are going to bathe the children, I will wait until all the women have gone. That's when I will now take him and go. I have to knock. Is there any woman there? It became like a joke. Any woman there? A man is coming in. A man is coming in. It became a kind of joke in the world. So, so these are some of the experiences, and while we were there, I saw a couple that came with their child for EBT. The father flew in from the US. Father is not based in Nigeria. When he told him the daughter was going to have an EBT, he flew in from the US just to be with the wife and the daughter. I was like, whoa! So there are men like me like this. I took courage. Myself and the man, we started gisting. He was telling me how, telling my experience. He carried Michael, carried him on his leg. I was trying to, so that I could sleep. I was sitting on a plastic chair. That was my bed. Nowhere to sleep. My feet were swollen. Everywhere was, in fact, it was literally a time I wouldn't want to experience again. So basically, that's how it's been the journey so far. There's been good times, there's been bad times, there's been the not so good times and all that. So, but basically, the way he is, I wouldn't change him for anything. I would not swap him. I wouldn't change him. for anything. No, he's my boy. He's my
That's
son, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I have to be there for.
I was about asking if you had any
Okay.
maybe if your feelings changed after
Uh,
finding out he lives with sickle cell. You know the whole happiness you felt when you
yes,
had him. I
when I
wanted
had
to
him, yes,
ask you if after finding out about sickle cell, if it changed towards him. But it's good to hear that.
he didn't change. Oh, in fact, I love him more now than ever, more than
Mm.
ever.
Wow, it's good to hear about your experiences, especially in the hospital. It shows that we
uh,
also have a long way to go. A facility such as that one you said last week. I mean,
yes,
I think we should start thinking of being inclusive in some aspects. I mean, it's not only there are two people in the making of a baby, right? Two
yes,
people
of course,
involved. So it's
yes, two
not,
people.
yes, it's our custom here. You see women all the time, everywhere in the hospitals, and so
Yes,
it's not as if
yeah,
it's a woman's duty. So what
is
if,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. So Tunde, working in such an environment, you've heard his and luckily you work in the same institution. You've heard his story.
exactly.
So I don't know. What would you say? What if we start advocating for fathers to maybe there should be a separate ward for when fathers are with their children in the hospital or something like that. Well, I don't know. What would you say? Is this something that we can? I don't know. I think it's something we should talk about more often because I can understand how he must have felt back then in the hospital.
Well, it's an eye opener for everyone. It's an eye opener for everyone. I think the reason why it was like that is because of the fact that daddies are not always around, or probably they are not always part of taking care of the kids when they come down with crisis, or probably they are in the hospital. Sure, you understand? Because most of the time it's always the mother, either the sister, is always the female gender that always sits around with the child or with anyone who is sick in the hospital. Sure, you understand? So I guess probably that's the reason why his case was like that. And with what he said, I think is an eye opener for every dad to be part of um, a life journey of our kids. We shouldn't leave it alone to the mother. We shouldn't
Mm,
leave it alone to the female gender. Sure, you understand? So, like in the wards, we have female ward, we have male ward. So, what he experienced, I don't think he'll be able to see such when it comes to male ward. Then the fact that Michael, like, am I right? His name is
Yes,
yes,
Michael,
Michael.
Mike.
right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Michael is still a kid, so I don't think they have separate ward for male and female when it comes to kids. Sure, you understand? So
Okay.
they put them together. So that would be one of the reasons why he was unable to have a separate space for him to have his own bath. Like I could remember like 2 years ago when my niece had appendix surgery in Lasot. I was around with her, but during that period, I was sleeping in the office. I won't lie about that because after her surgery, she was transferred to a female ward. So in the female ward, except you have time, like the visiting time, that is when they will allow you to go in, even as a male. Sure, you understand? So if you come in when it's not the visiting time, they won't allow you to go in. But being a staff, I was able to find my way around. I just go in and go out anytime I like. Sure, you understand? Because in a female ward, You can just go in, and the next thing you are seeing is a female who is naked or half naked, which
Yes.
is against the ethics of the hospital
Mm,
for you to be saying such. So
Yes.
you
mm,
have to abide with the time that they ask you to come. Sure, you understand. So I believe that is one of the reasons why we face challenges like that when it comes to the opposite sex going into a certain ward. So because you are not allowed to see their nakedness, and a doctor can come in any point in time when they will be treating the patient, and they might be naked at that point in time. So you are not allowed to come in. So I think it's an eye opener for every one of us, even the father, even the mother.
mm,
We should be part of the formative years of our
mm.
kids. So that's what I'll have to say concerning that. Because rarely you see fathers in the hospital running around for their child, because we
Okay,
always have this
before
mindset that we are busy.
yes. So before Yomi says anything or takes the next question, I just want to say you all can now see every time you people, there's this I don't know how many times you celebrate Mother's Day in a year, though I think especially here in Africa or in Nigeria, we like to borrow.
Mm.
There's the American one, there's the English one, there's the Anglican one, there's the Pentecostal, there's
The
the
Catholic, yeah.
Catholic and all that. So, but even at that, I think you find men saying every time Mother's Day, Father's Day, in course, celebrate us and all that. These are the kind of things you can see now.
Mm.
So fathers should come and do it more. Eh? I hope
Yes,
you
yes.
you are listening out there. So Yomi, you can take your next question.
All right, Maureen, probably you are going to help me. Probably you are going to help me get across to Tunde. My question
No, I
would
can
be,
hear
Okay.
as
you
a
now. I
father.
can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me.
I can
Okay.
hear you
Fantastic,
now.
great.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so my question would be: you live with sickle cell. Kelvin too has a child who lives with sickle cell. Sickle cell
Okay.
notwithstanding, we still face the regular challenges that everybody face. So today, has it
Yes.
ever happened that probably when you are sick or you are down, and you just remember, my child is at home, my wife is at home, what's going to happen? How am I going to pull through this? Did that survival instinct, did it kick in for you to like say, let me do something? That economy, that survival instinct that comes with fathers, how has it worked with you, even living with sickle cell?
Well, is there any difference? Because being a father, it doesn't separate you from either you have sickle cell or not. Sure, you
Hmm.
understand. So the survival instinct has to be there, and you wouldn't say because of the fact that you are SS, then if you are down, you won't want to stand up and fend for your family, or probably you want to reach out for your daughter or your son. So the instinct is always there, irrespective of the genotype. Shay, you understand? Because there are many times I come down with crises, and you can't there are many things that you can't just leave alone to the mother. You can't just
Hmm.
leave them alone to the mother, provided you are a how will I say, you are a responsible man. Provided you are a responsible man. If you are very, very responsible, you will not leave them to your wife alone or to the female gender alone. Because there are many times I'll be down and they want to get some stuffs done in the house, and the female gender cannot do it. Being the man, I'll have to rise up and stand for it. I might be in pain, but I'll definitely still do what I can. If it's for me to call someone to help, to assist me in doing them, I'll do that. And if it's for me to go out of my own way to do it, I'll surely make sure I get things done the right way. So
Hmm.
the the instinct is there. It's just, it has to be natural for you, whether you are in crisis or not, whether you are AS, whether you are AA, whether you are SS. When it comes to being a responsible father, when it comes to being a responsible father, you just have to stick out your neck for your family. That's just this.
Hmm. Great,
Hmm.
great.
Wow.
Kelvin, what has been your experience on this? Is it different? You don't live with sickle cell, but is it different?
It's not different. My case is even more peculiar. But I want to key into something he said. He said being a responsible father. You know, there are fathers and there are responsible fathers. There are men who are just there, just answering that name father. But there are fathers who are stepping up. There are fathers who are doing the needful. Fathers who are doing the needful. He said something that he has to come naturally. Exactly.
Hmm.
You can't give what you don't have. That is just it.
Hmm.
You can't give what you don't have. I I'm not putting Michael's mother down. But while we were together, she was weak when it came to domestic work. When it came to caring for Michael, I basically did it. So it was easy for me to transition when eventually became my sole responsibility.
Responsibility.
Uh-huh. Because when she initially took Michael and went away with him, when she took him, was the first time that he now needed a blood transfusion. She took him away. The boy was malnourished. He mosquito bites. She didn't have the time. She was dropping him with neighbors and she would go and do her own thing. That was the first time Michael needed a blood transfusion. Probably if he had not, if he had been taking care of them, maybe by now he would still have been able to manage it without.
Hmm.
So I just got on my knees and I prayed, God, anything's going to take. Let's push this woman, let her bring this child back to me. And he came back to me. So because of that, it's something that I was trained with. It's something that's in me, you know. So it was easy for me to transition. If you don't have it, you can't give it. It has to come naturally, like my brother said. As a responsible father, you do the needful, no matter what it takes. There are some days where it is very, very hard. No job. It is very hard.
Hmm.
But the boy has to eat. He has to eat. He needs his routine drugs. Maybe
Hmm.
like where we stay is very far from Sami. I can't get across. I
Hmm.
can't even transport myself down there. He needs his drugs. What do I do? Will I sit down and fold my arms? No. I have to make way anyhow it's possible because it's a major concern. There are some days that I go to bed hungry just for him to eat. I have to start calculating. If I have 1,000 naira, Michael must spend 900. 100 is for me. No, it is true.
Very true. Very true. Very
Yes.
true.
If Michael, 900 is for Michael, 100 is for me. I don't want to know.
Sure.
As long as I'm seeing water to drink, I know I won't die. But he must not lack. That is the thing. So with what my brother said, I agree with him. He has to come natural. You can't force it. Just like my sister was saying, Moy was saying that father should start going to the hospitals and all that. A father doesn't have it, he will run away. He will run. Once you go there, you just in fact just a night alone, that person will run. You know. He mentioned something about the general hospital where the female ward and all that. My brother, my people, I saw naked women. Nobody say whether go come. You know when women are, I saw what my eyes should not see because I was in the same ward with women and children and all that. You know, but I had to manage myself. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't easy, but I had to manage myself. On a norm, not every father can
Hmm.
bring himself to do that. So if you don't have
Hmm.
it, you cannot give it. That is just it. That is my take on it.
And in
Fantastic. If
having
you don't
it,
have it, you
I
can't
think it
give it.
starts with training. In
Yes,
having
it
Yes.
it,
does.
Yes.
it
Yes,
comes
it
with
starts with training.
nurturing. Yes, so
Training.
it's
Yes,
not
yes.
when parents start this segregation of this is for women to do and that is for men to do. That
No,
is
yes,
where
No. No.
yes,
No. No.
yes. No,
Yeah.
no, no. Your foundation
Your
matters.
foundation is in. Yeah.
It matters. It matters. Yeah.
yeah. So Yomi, do you have any other things to ask or?
My question will be to Kelvin again. That
Okay.
you now you have a child who lives with sickle cell, and you might have possibly heard some myths that people living with sickle cell can they feign pains, they feign tiredness, they tell you they can't do this, they just because they just don't want to do it. and so they just pretend that they have this pain and they have that pain. So I wanted to
Mm.
just clear the air from your experience. Is that true that they really sometimes they just pretend or something? What do you think?
With my experience, with my son, and with my friends, you inclusive, Yomi, eh? I would say no, it's not like that. I've not come across warriors who hide under the guise of okay, my condition, I can't do this. I've not come across warriors that do that. For Michael, I've been able to train myself in such a way that I see his triggers. I see the symptoms before they happen. So once I see those symptoms, once I see the triggers coming on, I know what is up. There are some things he does on a norm. When he cannot do it, I know something is up. You understand? So it's always like that. Michael is a child that always wants to do something. When I'm carrying this, he wants to carry it for me. When I'm doing, he wants to do it. When I'm here, he wants to do it. So, but when I see him, he's not doing those things that on a normal, on a norm, he wants to do. I know something is up. And that's when I start. I don't tell him. I just start. Are you okay? I start from his head. Start touching. As I'm touching, I'm pressing a bit to see if there's pain anywhere down to his feet. That is how I get to know, okay, which part of his body before he tells me. Because sometimes now he won't tell me because fear of injection and hospital. He will keep quiet. He won't say anything. like, like, like 2 days ago, he started having pain on his ankle because of the rain that's been on. He didn't tell me. I just saw that when he was walking, he was trying to hide, he was limping, I was looking at him, I didn't say anything. Until I called him and said, come. I was just playing with him. I pressed that part. He screamed. I said, why didn't you tell me that you're having pain? You understand? So basically, I don't think I've not come across warriors that do that. Basically, I've not. I've not. So I think that is a myth. I think it's a myth. With warriors me I've seen, warriors I've seen, you're me, Maureen, no, you guys go. You guys are stronger than me, self. You're stronger than me, like seriously.
Hey,
So that is a myth, so
thank
it's a
you.
myth, my brother.
Great.
Wow, that's good to know.
So
So, Yomi, do you have any other questions or
yeah, Tune,
comments?
Tune, what would you advise warriors who also want to become fathers like you? How do we go about it? Since you are the senior man now.
Hey, I'm not a senior man. No. Well, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Let's. I wouldn't want to scare anyone. Being a father,
Hmm.
it's fun. Like I could remember my first experience when my first child came in. It was something I could, as in, it was like a dream come true. Because growing up, you are like, this child at the age of 21, that is when he will die. Sure, you understand? Because it's the general might that they have concerning warriors that once you are 21, as in the lifespan that we have is attaining 21 years. I still remember how my mom threw a party when I clocked 21.
Wow.
And
Wow.
before
Serious
before
matter.
I clocked before I clocked 30, I have a personal doctor that I usually visit. She advised my mom then that this boy is growing up. Oh. I was like 25 then, 25, 26. They were like, this boy, for him to have surpassed 21 years, you need to find him a woman. Let him just have a child before he dies. So many years like that, if I go to her, like, okay, it's like a ritual that every first like every first day in the year, let's shall say January, I have to go and see her just to pay homage that ma, I'm still alive, oh, sure you understand. And I take gifts to her. So once I take my gift to her, just to appreciate her effort on how she has been taking care of me and my drugs, she'll be like, Tunde, I won't collect this thing from you because I've told you, you and your mother, that I want to carry your child. Sure, you understand? I want to carry your child. So this gift that you are bringing, it's not acceptable because you need to do the needful. Like, let me see your child. So it was a big tussle between me and her at that point in time. And the lady I was supposed to get married to, then we had some little issues. She went like that. Then before I finally met my wife, and when the whole thing came and we got married, then on the day of our delivery, I was with her. So seeing my child was like, finally, being a warrior, you have someone that will take over you. Sure, you understand? So it was a joy to behold. And even when we started sharing the news to people, they will be like, Tunde Bimo, like Tunde gave birth. Sure, you understand? So it was like it was like a mystery to them that finally, so this guy is even capable to have a child. Sure, you understand? So it's been a lovely journey. Let me use that word. I don't want to say it's been bad, but it's been a lovely journey. Then to every warriors, you don't limit yourself. That's one thing about life. Do not limit yourself. If then do not date out of pity. That is one thing that I held on to. That was one thing I held on to because the relationship that I had for 5 years that didn't work out, I was in that relationship for a very long time and I was being pitied in that relationship because I saw myself like, where do I want to start from? I'm a warrior to start searching for a. Then I had this phrase at the back of my mind: the devil you know is better than the
Better than
angel you
angels
don't
you
know.
You
don't.
don't.
So I always like, let us keep patching things. Let's keep patching things. So we kept patching till everything crumbled. Then when I met my wife, I told her about my genotype. She was like, Tunde, you are lying. I said, what's there to lie about? This is me. If you want to stay, you stay. And if you want to go, no problem. But I need to let you know from day one when we started, I am SS. What about you? Are you AA or are you AS? She said she was AA. So we continued. Then when it started getting much serious, then I asked for her to go for a genotype test, which she did to confirm the whole thing. Then we went ahead with it. So the point here is, do not limit yourself because every SS has potentials in them. Don't say because of the fact that you fall sick, then because of that you are nobody, then you want people to start pitying you and to start doing everything for you. My dear, if you limit yourself, you end up being used at the long run. Then you end up being in a marriage or a relationship where you be the one begging for everything that you need from them, and at the long run they'll end up using you and dumping you. So the most important thing is, do not limit yourself as a warrior. If I can do it, anybody else can do it, provided you have the right mentality to do it and to come out strong in it. So that's just it. Sorry for taking your time on that.
It's great.
Oh,
It's great. It's
no
great.
problem. Wow. Wow, it's
That's
been it's
powerful.
been an
That's
awesome
powerful.
time. Yes, I've really enjoyed this show. I've enjoyed you both. It's been an interesting time. Though our time is fast spent, and Kelvin needs to go and put both himself and Michael to bed. Tomorrow is Sunday. Oh my God. So a very big thank you, Kelvin, for coming on the show once again. Thank you, Tunde, for being here. I mean, it's really been an interesting time tonight talking with you both. I've actually learned, and I think I've gotten one or two things. One we can as in we can advocate for in the future.
Oh, boy.
So, to viewers out there, there's an important announcement. Touch a Cell online show will now be live every second Saturday and last Saturday or fourth Saturday of every month. It's no longer
Every
going to
month.
be weekly. Yes, third Saturdays and fourth Saturdays of every month, beginning from July 10th. So meaning that next weekend there won't be any show. So July 10th there will be a show. So do bear with us. And we already have these things on Facebook and YouTube, so you can always go back and watch previous shows. So thank you again, Kelvin. Thank you, Tunde, for
Thank you
being
for
on
You're
the
having me.
show.
welcome. You're welcome.
Yes,
You're welcome.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a great time. So have enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a lovely Sunday.
And you
All
too.
right, you
You
too. You
Bye.
too.
too.
Yeah, thank
You
you very
too.
much.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.